here we are up at Ultra Products Up for discussion. This evening is going to be a great evening. Tonight we are talking about Rocky Mountain High and what we're referencing. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Good one.
That John Denver.
He's full of
He knew a
it.
thing or two.
So this evening, Rocky Mountain High, we are talking elk hunting and the enjoyment that we get out of it. And we're going to talk about tips. We're going to talk about things that will help you out on your next hunt. We're going to be talking about a lot of good things. We're going to be talking about experiences that we've had. We're going to play a hunt for you guys. We've got, it's going to be a fun evening. This evening, we've got guests with us. We've got Doug Doty, who's always good to have on. A lot of people don't realize this, but Doug and Josh are both special guests.
Oh my goodness. What do you mean?
I don't. That sounds rougher than what I meant.
No, that sounds rough.
I mean that they give up of their time to come in, and we appreciate it.
Special.
Very special. We appreciate it.
Like special ed?
Well, we thank you.
No.
All right. Okay, good.
So this evening, we've got a couple sponsors. One of the sponsors is Ultra Products here at the shop. We've got a 4,000 square foot shop that we want to make sure that we provide guys with great outdoor service. We do full service on bows, crossbows, you name it. We do it. We change out strings. We have a full line of bows that we sell, Matthews, Bear, PSE. We are trying
Bowtech.
Every day, Bowtech, that's right, Diamond. Every day we're trying to make sure that we're providing guys with good quality equipment, stuff that we would use, and weed out the stuff that really we wouldn't use. Also, this episode is sponsored by Icon Foam and Gutter. Icon Foam and Gutter is located here in Fairfield, Illinois. It is a spray foam business that's been around since 2019, and they do great work. Doug is the primary lead on that business, and so Doug, we appreciate your sponsorship. Not only that, but they've extended this as well. If you contact Doug, and Doug, what's the best way to contact you?
Oh, to call or text 618-926-1481.
1481.
For all your foam and gutter needs.
That's right.
And if you Doug,
and if you call and contact Doug and mention up for discussion, you'll get 5% off of your bill.
No kidding.
5% off up to $2,500.
well, that's a big deal.
So yeah. So keep that in mind if you guys are considering spraying some foam in the future. Icon Foam and Gutter, located here in Fairfield, Illinois. All right, we're going to get started this evening.
We need that little number that goes across.
That just rolls across.
Just
yeah.
tick or
And then at the end, something says like always contact after 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Best time.
There you go.
I will disconnect that.
So for those who are watching, this is episode 22. Episode 22.
Wow.
Already, huh?
That's right. We've been at it now for
22 times.
22.
if you do the math.
Yeah.
I'm not good at math. So.
Me neither. In my head.
22 times, and this here is episode Rocky Mountain High.
Rocky Mountain High.
So
Talking about elk hunting. So we kicked this. I guess we timed it this way because the first lottery came up.
Yep.
2 days ago?
Yeah, results for most of us, yes.
Started posting yesterday.
Yeah.
So we were hoping that we would have some emails, some posts, some credit cards getting hit by the Colorado.
And we did have
We
several.
got all the information we needed.
It did happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some of us better than others.
Yeah. So
the
so
A-team,
let's
the
hash
Uh-huh.
that down for first and foremost. So we put in for tags.
There were a group of 7 guys that we put in for tags. We put in for a zone that Laythan, Doug, and I and Chris, his boy, had all been to last year and had really good, not only success, but also just good experience overall.
Really good.
Obviously.
That's right.
Got to hear and see some elk.
Yeah.
So,
And Laythan and I, we've been to several different areas in
Yeah.
Colorado. We've been to New Mexico. I've been to Wyoming.
yeah.
So I mean, we've done a decent amount of elk hunting.
By no means do we want anybody to think we're professionals, but we're several hunts in, several trips in,
Yeah.
and every time learn a little bit.
And I would say there's different ways to go about it.
Sure.
And that's kind of what we'll talk about this evening. Like the way Doug hunts is different than the way we hunt.
Probably.
And only in he's more geared towards setting up a stationary camp, and I would say you're more geared towards let's just go and push in and wherever we make it.
Let's hope we don't starve
Or freeze to death.
or freeze.
Yeah.
But you just have to be Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Fluid.
You know, when we hunted over the counter in Colorado for 2 or 3 years.
3.
Yeah.
I think it was 3.
Yes.
Yeah, it should have been.
Well, whatever it was, we went over the counter, which means, you know, you're going to deal with more people probably.
Yeah.
Just the way it is. And I remember we spent 2 days on a mountain, and we didn't see or hear what we wanted to see, and we didn't know much, but we had the attitude we're not going to devote our whole 8 or 9 days to this mountain.
Not going to die on that mountain.
Yeah, and we come off of that thing, and that one year we drove across the state twice.
We did
to different units trying to find elk, and
we finally got on some.
Found some elk.
Yeah,
and pert near killed a bull that's bigger than this bull.
Yeah, got real close.
Can you explain the units? Like
so
how that works for guys?
So the state of Colorado, which is where we've done a primary,
mostly, yeah.
most of our hunting has primarily been there. The state of Colorado is broken up into like 220 some units, and each one of those units, they basically say, I would say the elk population good enough to the point to where we can make it an over the counter. And if they deem that it's not, then it becomes a draw county.
Okay.
And we did 3 years of over the counter, and we had some great hunts in over the counter.
Which means you can drive to Colorado. You can walk into Bass Pro, Walmart. There's all kinds of different places you can Google on your phone. You can walk in there, show them your, what is it? ID, hunter safety education.
Yep.
Number or card, and buy a tag.
Yeah.
It's about a 15-minute deal. You got a tag and you're out there.
Yeah.
And then you can hunt any unit that is labeled
OTC.
Over the counter.
OTC, over the counter.
Which there were up till now quite a few. There's all over the state.
And still
and the
this
thing
year
that you need to keep in mind when you look at the magazine, or what is
the map of the
what's Illinois call ours? Like for the DNR, the book that they put out with all the
digest for
the
rules.
When you look at Colorado's, if you're not careful, you'll think that you're in an over the counter because they shift for
each animal,
and they shift based on gun even.
Yeah, the weapon.
Really?
Yeah, there will be certain areas where it's like that's an over the counter gun, but it's not over the counter archery, or vice versa.
So read.
Oh, you need to do your
you
homework.
don't want to go out there and buy an over-the-counter tag and just glance through the map and be like, we can go there.
Yeah.
Because you could be in a unit that's over-the-counter rifle, but not over-the-counter archery.
Or over-the-counter mule deer or bear, but not elk.
So you want to make sure you do your due diligence, read the top of the page. Yeah. I think that one this year, it said, this is the over-the-counter archery.
Right.
Or this is the archery map.
And I will say this, Laythan and I had been with guides several times, and we had some good luck with guides.
I've only been once. You've been more than once.
Okay. And we had also had some not so great luck with guides.
Sure.
And there was a point to where we were like, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to hunt on our own terms. And I know that there's people that probably freaks out because it's like there's so many unknowns when you're going out there. But I say that because I want to make sure to encourage guys, you can do this. You can go out there and you can kill.
Yeah, I tell every body that loves. I'm not a gun hunter, so if you love gun hunting, go gun hunting. But I tell anybody that truly loves archery hunting here in Illinois. That's all I know. I talk to archery hunters from Illinois mostly, and I tell them all. I'm like, do it now.
Yeah.
Don't wait. I wish we would have got on the horse maybe sooner. I don't know. There's a whole lot of things we could say why we didn't, kids, money, all kinds of things like that. But we finally one day is like, we're going. And we went. And then you find out it's financially, it's not as big a deal as you think.
Well, it's big in people's heads because they know the outfitter price.
Yeah.
And there's certain outfitters.
We didn't research, but I'm sure a cheap.
You're looking anywhere from 4 to 7 to 8.
Right.
And that could go on.
Yeah.
And then it just goes out of the chart from there. I'm talking like an average.
I would say average, you're talking $5,500 to $6,000.
Yeah.
Over 5.
Yeah.
And, they have the more do-it-yourself things a outfitter will get you set up in a camp, and then you're on your own for the hunting itself.
Right.
Those are around the $2,000 mark, probably a little bit more.
Right.
Some of those include some things like one of the guys that I know that did one of those, it included the tag too. So it's actually not too bad.
Not a bad deal.
The guy had the firewood was cut for you. Everything's there. Oh, wow. The tents are set up, but the hunting's on you. You go do things. So, there's a lot of ways you could do it.
Different ways.
Yeah.
Right.
And even that, honestly.
There's one package that includes foot rubs every evening.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with that one. But the thing is, though, there's a lot of options.
It's going to cost you.
And here's the other thing, like that guy, for instance, when they set up the camp, if someone killed an elk, that outfitter would come back in with his horses and get it out.
That's a big
which
deal.
is a big deal.
Which is a big deal. So, by the time you're done, you're really at probably $1,500-ish for the thing because your tag and that guy's deal was included.
Right.
And which is pretty cheap you couldn't buy the tent you were sleeping in for that. Yeah. And so, and then all the preparation and everything. Right. And theoretically the guy had probably scouted, I hope, and whatever
he might have told you they're up there in such such canyon or something.
Yes. You hope that that's the case.
Right.
But you're at that point,
give you some intel.
You want to be with somebody you can trust that they're telling you,
I would say this, the first year you're going to spend more. Sure. Because you've got to buy and purchase a lot of things that you don't normally, or you're not going to have to every year.
Right.
Correct.
But like last year, I think me and Laythan had somewhere around $1,200 a piece in our hunt.
Yeah. I had a little more than that, but I was going to say 15-ish.
Yeah.
Is probably what I had. But
so what was the tag this year?
8.
Right at 8.
They upped the price of the tag. The tag for us, by the time we get all totally done, we're going to be about 9.
Yes, by the license that you have to purchase, the qualifying license that you have to purchase to put in for the tag,
which only applies to the lottery.
Correct, but it's what we did. So so there's $100 plus the $780
plus tax. I got it.
Stuff.
But if a guy wants to drive out there this fall and go over the counter
will be cheaper. Yeah. It'll be just under $800.
Just under $800.
And that's cut and run, right? That's got your tag and your
tag,
which
your license. You're
includes
ready to go.
A fishing license.
And you can go fishing.
Which is kind of a fun thing to do.
It didn't have the small game on it, did it?
No, because that's what we bought as our qualifying license when we did.
So when you put in for the lottery, they make you buy a small game. That's their way of
getting their money.
Yeah.
Getting more money out of
Yeah.
you.
But the small game covers you on
It does.
the grouse.
Well, like if you want to grouse hunt, which there's a ton of grouse out there.
I'm assuming rabbits, maybe.
I guess.
Well, you'd want to look into that too.
They're small.
You wouldn't just want to assume. They are small game.
You want to check all the rules.
they're in
season.
Season.
The game wardens that we've, like they call them game wardens there, whatever. We're
Rangers, game wardens,
They seem like good, helpful people, but you don't want to be breaking the rules.
No.
I mean, they're going to do their job.
Right.
So you want to do your homework and make sure that you are abiding by the rules.
Sure.
And that, just because we're used to rules being a certain way in the state we hunt, some of the stuff they have is totally different than we do here. Yeah.
And totally more relaxed on some things.
Some things.
Way cooler.
Everything I've read, and I'm the green one here.
Yeah.
Been, but I'm going this year.
This is Josh's first year.
And this is what's cool. He was just saying, like, I was one of these guys where I've always wanted to go elk hunting.
Yeah.
Before I met you guys, on my phone, I had all these spots picked out. But I didn't know how to go about it and didn't want to go by myself. And really didn't know how do you, like, I knew I wanted to do this, but how do you do this?
Well, and there's so much misinformation online. Like there's guys that will tell you this is a great spot and you get there and there's nothing there.
Yes.
Well, everything I've read, they were like, listen, if you have questions, call us. There are people manning the phones. They want to feed you the correct information and help you out.
Yeah. If you call the CPW, they're great.
They have their particular line for their hunt planners. Like, so those people, their job is to answer the phone and help you get your tags.
Yeah.
And so how to, everything's, and information on the units, any statistical information that they gather and things like that, you can ask those people. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, they've been very helpful for us when we've called them.
Very.
And so I know I've talked to them a couple of times on different things. I just wasn't sure. Do we need this? Like there was a question that first year during the muzzleloader season, do we have to wear orange if we're bow hunting during that gun hunt?
Yeah.
And
do you?
Nope.
No.
And
if you have a gun in your hand, you
do.
Correct. That's right.
And we found out that Doug's only like 4 years away from being a senior there.
And you get a discount, don't you?
You do get a discount. So
the senior discount.
That's right.
Oh, I didn't do
But listen, 65 is most places senior discount. Not there. It's 55 years old.
Is that
correct?
No
kidding.
Yeah. 55 years old.
I did not know that.
We thought he was joking.
No.
All this time.
You can get it now, man.
I found out because of Dave.
Hey, with this beard,
Dave Rector applied and got his tag for like $100 cheaper because he's a senior.
But he hasn't drawn. That was going to be my next.
He has not drawn yet.
My next thing is, so you said we had 7 guys?
7 guys. 4 of us have drawn in the zone that we were hoping
that we were wanting, that we were in last year.
So statistically, that's spot on.
So we have 3 outliers currently. We don't know about Dave yet.
So
and we know that
in.
you two, me.
Wes is in. Josh is in.
Oh, man.
Adam Boutwell.
Adam Boutwell got a
and
tag.
the A team here.
And Mike Rutger got a tag as well.
Unsuccessful. Isn't that a kick in the pants when you read that? Your application was unsuccessful. Are you all right there?
Yeah, we got tangled.
Yeah, I see that. But
I'm going no matter what. You said you're not going to go.
Nope.
You're not going to go.
Are you going to try to draw though? Are you going to?
Nope.
I am going.
Final decision. Deal or no deal?
Nope.
I'm going.
Here's what I decided. I'm a firm believer in God makes happen for you what you make happen for others.
Sure. Pay that forward, man.
That's right.
That's biblical.
And I think Laythan's going to go there and he's going to call in a bunch of bulls for us.
And we're going to just
and then we're going to watch him.
I got goosebumps when you were talking about that. Almost got teary-eyed. Can you say?
Yeah.
Woo! I like
then we're going to watch him kill the biggest bull of us all.
Well, I hope we can do that. We can get in and we can get the job done.
That's
and
right.
We can help him.
We're going to smash him.
And
hey, send it. And hopefully it sticks.
Man, I'm not sure that's the best.
I'm telling you right now, it's the only way it's going to.
You gotta,
because it won't if you don't. Because it won't if you don't.
It will not.
No, I agree with that.
It'll stick in your quiver.
So I had decided before the results. This September trip thing is very tough for me because it's when I'm doing all my preparation for deer season.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to get away, and whenever I'm away, I always feel like I shouldn't be. Yeah. And so I enjoy doing it. It's great. But I had decided before the results came out that my determining factor as to how I'm going to handle it is if I get the unit that I had picked for my first choice, I would go. If I didn't get that one, if I got one of the other 2, I was going to either
take a point.
They won't let you take a point once you get drawn. Nope. That's
really
nope. If you get drawn,
you default on it though,
you don't get a point. Nope. Unfortunately, I checked. Nope, you don't. So, but I was going to either, if someone else in the group didn't get drawn, I was going to transfer it to them.
But you get a point now.
Now I get a point because I got.
What if because that's what we were talking about. What if we go in the second lottery and I get drawn? Do I still get a point?
You still end up with a point.
You keep your point. They do not use.
because that's what happened with Chris last year.
Yeah, you don't use or if they
but he didn't draw the second draw.
Yeah, but he was going to get that point regardless.
Yeah, you keep your point. The
do I get to use that point
next year? No, you can't.
Call him up.
Yeah,
that point that you gave me this year. I wonder if I could redeem that.
Yeah, I'd like to redeem it now. So what they do is, and of course, these are all things that you have to look up because you can't assume any of it.
There's a lot of It's tough. It's not like just
there's a place in their
either sex tag and going whitetail hunting around.
Right,
it's not.
So there's a place in their rules, and it said there are no preference points awarded or used during the second lottery. Nothing applies to preference points. So the point that we just got by not being successful in the draw is good for next year, but it doesn't get used this year. And we don't get another one if we're unsuccessful in the second lottery. It doesn't get used.
But here's what's nice for next year. You and Chris
all have points.
We'll all have points and we'll all have guaranteed in the zone that we like.
Yes.
You should buy a point.
I tried to get him to do that, but he didn't do it. It's too late.
Is it too late?
It's too late. Yep. You have to do it in the deadline for the first lottery.
Can I take my earphones off for a minute? And
smack you around.
Smack you around.
I tried.
But he could still do the second. He could still
do
a second draw, couldn't
he? He could.
But he won't get a preference point on
You won't get the point. And
on the first.
But since he's not going, what I'm saying is some people don't realize this. Some do, some don't. But since he's not going this year, and he wasn't planning it on going because he's got another hunt somewhere else lined up.
Oh yeah.
He can. What is it? $100.
$100 and you get your point.
And he could buy a point.
Yes.
That way next year he'd have 2 points.
And then you can pretty much.
He's going to draw.
I don't think they call anything a guarantee, but you're pretty close to guaranteed.
Well, you're stacking it up. That's the way the system is.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of the whole thing with the lottery. It's a little complicated, and we all went through. The one thing is, it's almost the process to go through the draw system
can be overwhelming.
It's a pain.
Can I ask a question here?
Yeah.
So I'm been entertaining a mule deer thing too, right?
I don't think you can.
Nope. You can't.
Well, I can the second draw here, I can enter.
Nope.
It said June 20th.
Nope.
You'd have to forfeit your
You'd have to forfeit the elk tag.
Because they don't allow you to kill too big game
animals.
Yeah. So
not for out-of-stater. Now, if you're a resident,
even residents.
Really?
The guys from that we met there from town.
Oh, that's right.
Collins,
They said, because I asked them, hey, did you guys go ahead and get your mule deer tags too? Thinking maybe they.
I remember them saying
that. And they
that
said,
now.
no, you can't do that. It's you can't get 2. There was a name for it, class whatever.
But you can't possess 2 tags, but
you
can only punch one.
I talked to somebody last night that drew. They put in for mule deer tags and elk tags in the same unit. And they drawed both of them, but they have to.
Yes, you can't.
They have to give one back,
so
they have to decide if they want to go mule deer hunting this year or elk.
And see, that's how Laythan's going to get his tag on the second draw.
Yeah,
because somebody's going to do that where we're at.
So we did a little research on that last year. Not to discourage anybody, but the numbers are so poor. I know. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to say in the unit that we were applying for, all the dust settled, there was 1 non-resident tag that was issued for the second lottery.
Well, here's the thing, though.
So
even
after only be 1,
after the second lottery, there's a day that they release those tags that you can call and order them.
Yes. You can get it over the counter by phone.
Yeah, they call it the leftover tags.
Yeah, if they're available for the unit.
Yeah, there has to be some.
Yeah,
but you
have to be
it
standing
would probably behoove
by.
you to call
and just try.
Yeah,
If you don't get the second lottery, then that
you need to be standing there, 7 a.m. Mountain Time, phone in your hand.
I think it's 9 a.m. Mountain Time.
Is it 9 a.m. Mountain Time?
But I will also say this: that where we're hunting at is only 8 miles from an over the counter. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Which is nothing.
So this is theory or whatever that could happen, it would be if we went out there in the first day or two, say you and Wes,
we do kill
when we kill
when you kill a bull,
and Mike.
Well, we'll have to get that all figured out because I don't know if we're all going to be there.
Oh, he's got to go
time.
later. Yeah, he's got to go later.
But anyhow, we'll hash
Triple
that out
threat.
later. But if that happens
Adam.
quick,
Adam,
yeah,
big bad Adam out.
Yeah.
if that happens
don't
quick,
count him out.
we'll put you guys as bulls on ice. Take a day, get them in, get them butchered, get them on ice. We'll go get a tag and go.
Man, that'll be a cool picture. We'll just stack them on top of each other.
But then we'll go get my tag. Talking about me right now. We'll get my tag. And we'll go to the over-the-counter zone. So I can go this year if I want to, no matter what.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
I want to. I could tell you guys you're on your own. I could go get an over-the-counter tag and be in some over-the-counter, but I'm going to go because I want to be with you guys. And golly gee, calling them in.
It's fun.
It's about as
your hair be standing up, blood be pumping.
I mean, I was thinking about this the other day with whitetail. If you ask me, my favorite thing to do hunting whitetails is to manipulate them.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Whether it be decoys, rattling,
set them up,
making sounds like them, whatever it is, sneaking, somewhat manipulating the hunt. And I do a bunch of setting and letting them come by me too. And elk hunting is one big manipulation.
The entire time.
The whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time. Because they're so vocal. It's so awesome when you get to talk to one. I mean.
I talked to a guy the other day talking about deer hunting. And I asked him, well, do you rattle? No. Do you decoy? No. I was
what
like,
do you do?
Yeah. I was like, do you grunt? No, I don't really grunt either.
Oh, man, that works good too.
Do you shower?
Yeah. I mean,
so
are you hunting?
But this guy was an out-of-stater. Sure. And he's like, yeah, we don't really do that where I'm at.
We sit quiet.
They sit.
They sit still.
And we do that too.
There's a time for that.
Yeah, but there's a time where
there's a time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a time not to be quiet.
Yeah, when they're bristled up, man. You gotta.
Well, I mean, I can't tell you how many times me and Laythan have snapped limbs and popped things, and
You mean like arms? Yikes!
Well, snap limbs clean off.
I'm gonna snap yours before it's all said.
Trespassers, no.
They're serious. Those guys.
I'll just let the cat out of the bag. About 85% of every deer I've killed that is above 150, 145-ish has been killed by manipulation.
Yeah.
That dude right there rattled him in.
Decoy rattle.
Yep.
Smoke City.
Yep.
Yeah.
On a warm, rainy day.
Yeah. This one over here over the door that's on Adam's poster.
Yeah.
Decoy, grunt, Smoke City.
Yep. Same general
Down
area.
through the years, I mean,
Smoke City, USA.
If we were known for anything, it was decoys and rattling.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's how I've killed most of my big deer.
Yeah.
It is, for sure.
It's fun.
I also heard an interesting thing, and I told Laythan earlier in the day, and this is mind-boggling. It was on the Hunter podcast, and so shout out to those guys. But what it was they said that 10% of guys that are bow hunters are so 10% is the number that have killed over a 125.
Okay.
90% have never killed anything that's Pope and Younger larger. And that is like...
That's very surprising. Especially
what's the I'm going to take...
See if you can destroy that thing over there for us.
Am I tangled around this? What's going on
You
here?
got your...
Yeah, there's no hope for you.
We're going to be blowing that here in a minute.
Lord Jesus, please touch Laythan.
He sure needs it.
That's what you guys going to be saying when I'm up the mountain, up the hill from you, blowing this thing out here.
That's right.
And that big thorny top comes walking right up to you.
Anoint his lips.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you for Laythan.
What was I getting ready to say?
Who knows?
I was talking about 10%
yes.
of bow hunters have only successfully killed over Pope and Young.
And I would bet that the percentage I would say that it would be even smaller percentage than that kills the truly big deer. Like it'll be those same guys. It's not just random guys across the board. The same guys kill big deer every year. If you know,
but is that because there's a bigger percentage of people in states that don't have?
Well, I think that's part of it.
It'd have to be
like you've got certain states that
because a guy in Maryland.
They just don't have the deer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or some of the southern states, a 125 is a big deer.
Right. Southern. And we had a buddy, he's probably still in Maryland, but like one of the biggest deer, he's like, I shot the biggest deer I ever saw in Maryland. It's on my wall. And I think it was like a 125.
Yeah.
You know, so,
and
so that could be part of that.
Oh, for sure. So,
and maybe because they won't manipulate them.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Well, like a lot of the guys I hear, like the southern guys, like your Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi guys, they all say the same thing. Now, whether it's just their opinion and they're right or wrong, I don't know, but they all say, "Oh, you can't do that where we live. All you'll just do is just run deer off. You can't call them and you can't rattle them."
Deer.
Well, but I think it's a pressure thing. They're like, if the deer gets scared so much, if you make noise, you're asking for trouble. Like,
Well, and I think a deer can be overcalled.
Yeah, but if you're
for sure.
Well, and that's the thing. But at that right time, like when that's what these bucks are doing a lot of times.
Yeah.
Man. They'll hear. That's where they're running to. They're listening.
Well, that's where me and Laythan, when we started breaking sticks and doing stuff like that, we really saw a lot of response to that because that's not what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys with rattle bags, but there's not a lot of guys up there snapping sticks and twigs.
Right. Well, and there's things too, like
what sounds natural?
Well,
stick snapping.
You
or a
hear off
bag.
in the distance the difference between antlers and a rattle bag. Now, you guys can all throw a fit that use rattle bags. I don't care. It does not sound the same. It is not the same thing. Yes, you can rattle in a deer with a rattle bag. You could drop your quiver out of your tree and have a deer come running in the right instance.
Sure.
But what you're doing to mimic those sounds and how you're doing it at what quality, what level you're working at, it makes a difference. That bunch of pieces of plastic in a bag, yes, you can do it. But real antlers,
the real crunch
when
of
you
leaves.
hear bucks fight and then you look at that rattle bag that what it sounds like in your backpack,
you don't hear as much horn.
Click, click.
As you hear brush and stuff.
Yes.
We've all been out there and heard deer fighting, and they'll kind of size each other.
It's a ruckus.
And then they'll get down. Yeah. And I have a lot of my cameras I got to hang on scrapes and stuff. And that's where I've seen multiple fights year after year. And I've seen two deer fight for about 15 to 20 minutes. And there'll be like 5 or 6 micro fights.
Mm-hmm.
They'll hit each other and they'll come off. And then they'll size each other up again. And then finally they go on their way.
Yeah, they're not trying to make noise. They're trying to kill each other.
Well, let's circle back.
Let's
circle back.
The reason why I brought that up is because I feel like the number for elk is even more so. Like the number of guys that kill elk.
Yeah, we were doing some math while ago.
We've done some math while ago, and then one thing I read was like it probably depends on the unit, but it was like in archery 4 to 6%.
Yes. Yeah. Some it's
of
less.
the tags get
that's
filled.
tough.
Yeah,
that's
get filled. And what are they being filled with?
Sure.
Well, just a legal animal. It doesn't mean it's a big trophy like that. It could be a cow tag. It could be a 4-point on one side. Whatever.
And I think it even goes down when you talk about do-it-yourselfers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, and the statistical information over the counter areas versus the draw units is very different too. Like your OTC areas, you're probably looking at less than 2% success on bulls.
That's tough.
And we've never killed over the counter.
But man, we've come close.
Man,
Not yet.
We have. I mean,
we've let some arrows fly.
A couple years ago, I had one 12, 13 yards.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I wish I would have pulled that footage for tonight.
Man, all I needed was a step and a half, and it would have been over. It was a good bull.
Yeah.
I don't think it was this bull size, but man, he wasn't a far cry off.
No, he wasn't.
He was just a freckle smaller than this bull.
And then the one I had at 70 was bigger than
big
this one.
Big wide bull. Yeah. I didn't get to see that bull like point wise. I just seen him way up in the dark timber. 70 yards from you.
Oh, he was
and
a
I was
beast.
20 or 30 behind you videoing. And I just remember when he turned his head, you looked over your shoulder at me and started saying big bull. We were both saying big bull at the same time.
Did you just not have an opportunity? Was it?
So here's the deal.
I'm saying he was pushing 4 foot wide.
Yeah, he was 70 yards.
He really laid out big and wide.
And okay, so there were a lot of variables here.
Sure.
We had a spike come in.
One variable was we climbed that mountain so fast
couldn't breathe.
We couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
We'd stop and try to talk.
Oh my
we
word.
couldn't talk because the sun was going down.
It was.
And he's blowing his head off,
it.
and we're talking to him, getting closer and closer.
Wow, that's intense.
Go ahead.
And there was just enough low hanging brush that I was like, can I? And I was like,
it's in your arc in the cast of your arrow. Yeah.
And I was so worried. Looking back on it, I kicked myself for not taking the shot,
for not sending it,
because
it's
honestly,
always 2020, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the back?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But there was a spike that came in and was staring me down. But I was already ready. Like, I was at the point to where all I got to do is rip it back real quick. And because he was not paying attention to me. The spike was, you know.
I don't think the spike was paying attention.
Not right off the bat.
No.
But
he was a whole whopping 4
might have been
yards
looking.
from
Oh, he was right on top of me.
No, I was standing against a tree videoing. And if you could find that footage and watch it, that spike is standing what looks like he could tap you on top of the head. I'm sure he was 4 or 5, 6 yards away.
But when he finally recognizes
the whole
that
time
I'm there,
he's looking,
like,
he came to me calling. The spike did.
And that big one hung back.
And he was hanging back.
He had
there.
cows with him.
Well, he had cows.
Yeah, there was like
this
8
was
or
a
9
satellite.
He wasn't going to come off those cows.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
You blame
but I
him.
still had him close enough to where
I was like, I just knew he's going to come. But
and that's the thing. That's where you look back and go, man. Because, you know, I mean, you're a seasoned hunter.
Well,
and you know, when you pull back on something, your brain does the math and you just.
That's the thing. I was
let her go.
I was playing that game.
Math is hard.
Yeah.
Pulling the trigger is not.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. You're never going to know unless you have
But
shot.
I was playing the game of arc. Yeah. Okay, so this is probably going to be about 4 foot.
Was it uphill too?
No, he was a little
slightly
bit uphill,
up,
but not
slightly,
a lot.
But not immensely.
Yeah,
nothing like ridiculous.
You wouldn't have to go really. Yeah,
we were getting real
enough
close
to make you think, though. Enough to make you.
We were getting real close to being on the same plane with him.
Yeah,
and that's what we were trying to do. We was trying to stay left of him and get on the same level as him, thinking all he'd have to do is he wouldn't have to go up, wouldn't have to come down. Maybe just come check us out.
And the thing was, we were hunting. We weren't hunting illegally, but we were hunting along the line.
Sure.
Yeah, we were a half mile or so,
less than that, because the next morning that deer or that bull had crossed over.
He went into a lottery zone.
And he was in a lottery zone, and we couldn't go
draw only. So, and it was obvious there was a line because there's a mountain road there.
Yeah,
it's like hitting the lottery in reverse.
Yeah,
yeah.
So when you walk up to that road, and you're like,
"This is it."
Pretty sure he went into that next unit, and so we backed off and started looking for more bulls.
They can cover so much ground so fast.
Oh, quick!
By tomorrow, they could be mountain ranges away.
Yeah,
not just a little bit.
And even that's what I say we should get into next. Like, so if there's anybody thinking about going over the counter, or maybe they drew this year and it's their first one, what could we delude down to them?
So there's a few,
because I've got several things in my head that I was like, I have learned that to do and to not to do and things like that. We could go list of.
So for one, I think being properly prepared equipment wise.
Is that where you want to start?
I think that's a good place to start. Here's the deal. We're already 43 minutes in, so
hit some equipment.
Realistically, this one's going to be a little bit longer, I'm sure.
Okay. Hang with us.
Hang with us, folks.
If you want to kill an elk.
That's right. So I would say making sure that you got a good sleeping bag is important.
Correct.
Making sure that you've got some sort of pad underneath that sleeping bag, because the best sleeping bag in the world still does not provide you with something that
Correct.
will protect you from rocks.
You can do anything. You can do anything one
air,
night.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be there day after day, you've got to be able to get some sleep.
And it does multiple things. It insulates you from the ground, because like any coon hunter will tell you lay down on the ground will suck the heat right out of you.
Yes.
And so that air layer will help protect you from that.
Let you sleep without getting hypothermia.
Yeah.
And you just, if you don't, you wake up with hot spots, your hip.
You're sore,
your hip
I'm
burning,
sure
your shoulder burning, and all it means is roll over and you can go back to sleep, but that means you woke up.
Yeah. You're tired.
Yeah.
And when those days start, and they start early, your workout starts that minute and the whole day.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
How many miles?
After 4 days, it's a workout to get out of your sleep.
Yeah. I mean, it works on you. I mean, it
4 or 5 days physically and mentally, you're like, I would rather do anything right now maybe than unzip this sleeping bag.
What's I was going to ask? Like, what kind of calorie burn are you
talking? It's high.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we talking like 10,000 or?
Well, I don't know, but I know
you don't eat enough to cover it.
That's correct. Yeah, you're never going to take in more than you should on that trip.
Just because you can't pack that.
You just can't. Yeah.
Like you eat all sorts of stuff that you're like we down peanut butter like crazy.
Sure. Yeah.
Because
peanut butter will pick me up and get me going again.
Yeah. We do peanut butter and honey.
I did like peanut butter and honey.
You can pack that.
It's an easy pack,
and a little bit goes a long way.
And then we take some sort of granola bar or something like that.
We did a few different things. Oh, dude, let's not get into it. Like, I don't even want to talk about it.
Doug ate so many Cliff bars. It was like, guys, I've got something wrong with you.
Yeah. There is a brick, not so much here or here, but right here. Yeah. But so we did something a little different last year. And man, I think it made a big difference. Those little tuna packs that are like, that you tear open the pack.
Those are good, man. The great value.
You can stack a bunch of those in your.
I'll tell you, there's a bunch of different flavors.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
That's what we do.
I know. Yeah.
So you can pack a bunch of those in your pack. They don't weigh anything, but they're high protein.
Yes.
And they have enough salt too, which you're sweating, so your salt is leaving you.
You sweating on stuff.
And so we did that. We did the granola bars and oatmeal packets, just dry oatmeal packets. Rip it open.
I can down a dry oatmeal pack.
Oh yeah. We did it all the time.
What about apples or anything like that?
It's just hard to carry.
Yeah, they're
not
and they don't keep like
carry
you want.
your hand while you eat
it.
Sure, we do usually
walking with one eating it.
Yeah, we do usually grab something like that.
Yeah.
So don't get scurvy.
There are so many more things that are going to happen to you.
We're not there that long. I wish we could stay long enough to get scurvy.
I know. Okay.
But I mean, you're burning it off. I think I lost 25 pounds in 2 belt sizes.
Oh wow!
Last year, in fact, I was kind of walking. I was like, why are my pants? Wait a minute, I got to go to the next belt loop. And by the time the end of the trip, I was 2 loops over. And I was like, man, what is happening here?
What he's not telling you is he had worn those pants for 6 straight days. So.
I did.
You take them off, they run away.
You have to.
Look, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, I had 2 pairs. I would air one out and I would wear one.
And on the subject of pants, good pants, man.
Oh. Yeah.
You want good,
breathable,
stretchy pants.
Yes, that's right. Well, you can.
And I'm not talking
about
like yoga pants or nothing. I'm just talking.
I guess I'll just have a lot of questions because I've just never been. And
ask them because this is a good time to do it.
So I just have a lot of scenarios running through my head. Right, I figure we're going to get there. We're going to set up a base camp.
Possibly,
that's what we usually
do,
and
then hunt out of that camp or go.
So there's
go take off for a day or 2 and
possibly
if you get on them and chase
these
them
are
down.
all possibilities.
Yeah.
And so what do you need? What do I need to bring with me outside of a base camp? Because I know base camp.
So the base camp, it's all subject to how far you want to get away from it.
Well, I want to kill an elk. And so whatever it takes to go do that.
My thoughts on that.
That can vary from 100 yards to 10 miles.
Yeah. But I want to be able to have what I need if the situation.
Like last year, there were times where we found that there were elk within 600, 500 yards from the road.
Yeah.
There were also times where me and Laythan found that, and you had to go for miles. So I always think you're better served to get as far away from people as you can.
Sure.
Because
whenever you're calling an animal, that seems to be the way. Get the distance.
And the bigger the animal, normally the
but here's where you're at. So we've been to this unit. We know a little bit about it. We'll have a base camp, no doubt, which consists of all of our stuff, vehicles,
stuff.
A good size tent. Well, I say stuff. I say
the bulk of the food.
Yeah, the bulk of the food. You load for bear. I mean, you're like
you prep for
5 and 6
being there
pairs
for
of socks, 5 and 6 pairs of underwear,
sure,
a couple of different pairs of boots, and some of that stuff may never come and go with you.
Right.
But you got it at the base camp.
You need to have.
So you're talking bigger tents, potentially, coolers with food that isn't dried food. You could have some apples and some fruit stuff that you can keep there that does not travel with you out there. You can't take a package of turkey meat up there with you and eat it at 5:00 that evening,
right?
Because you'll get the salmonella.
That would not be good.
So, but you could have something like that in base camp. Now you got to have a pack that can take your sleeping bag, a rain fly, 2 or 3 days of dried food, which we've got some we can show.
Yep. You got to have a filter bottle.
A filter bottle to filter your water, because you do not want to pack water, because water gets heavy fast.
It's heavy.
So there's water everywhere. You want a filter bottle so you can filter your water every time.
And those filter bottles, you can find a mud hole that is disgusting.
It's crazy.
Really.
And you can drink right out of it.
Is it just like a charcoal filter?
It's a little more elaborate.
A little more advanced than
that. So you need that. So I'm going to gear this year with a big pack that can go 2 or 3 days in, a small pack that can do a day, maybe 2 if I want to stay
out. A day pack,
and be that way. That's the way I'm probably going to go, and be that way, because this unit we're in, we can't go assuming they're going to be within a mile of the road.
Sure. Yeah. So when you say we go on an excursion, are we on the ground, or are we taking a little pop tent? Then look, because I see, a lot of stuff is really,
there's 2 ways to roll there.
There's a lot of really small stuff now. People are really, minimizing the load now.
When me and Laythan went back for our second little excursion,
when we acquired this right here,
when we shot that bull,
you succeeded.
So we went with the mindset, we're pushing in and we're not coming out. So we didn't even set up a base camp or nothing like that. We got out of the car, loaded Prius, our packs, and we headed in. And
we weren't coming back till we had to leave.
And you're packing your bow with you too.
So we went that night, we went in that morning that we got there. We arrived sometime around 3 or 4.
We slept until 6:37 or something.
We caught a couple hours. Yeah. We went in and we started calling and trying to locate. We spent all day doing that, and towards the end of that evening, we located some bulls.
Several bulls,
probably maybe 3, maybe
at least
4.
3 or 4 bulls, but at least 3. That talked to us.
So what we did is, we knew it was the end of the evening. We pulled back and slept one mountain over, on the mountain, on the ground.
Yeah,
rough evening. I mean, rough,
bad. It was rough. It was rough. And you could not do that very many days in a row.
No, that's right. That's right.
But I will say this. One thing to consider is, every time I go, probably about 24 hours in, I am like ill.
To acclimate. And I will need to acclimate. I've been to the mountains. I need a day.
It does something to you.
You do.
Now you're looking at 10.5 to 12 is most of that unit.
That's high.
Oh, that's a much higher elevation than a lot of the places.
And you can go to 12.5, 13, I think, in places there.
Yeah, we were at 12.5 on the top of that one hill that first day.
The air is thin there.
Yeah. It is. So you're going to have a period there where you're acclimating. And it just so happened that I acclimated that night, because we got out and we went straight in, and it was miserable for me, but it was worse for Laythan, because he thought he was taking a sleeping bag that was rated for low temperatures, and it was not.
It was not.
And
I
so
think I've heard a story.
Yeah, there was a few times I thought
gathering rocks out of the fire.
Yeah, I thought this is it.
Yep, this is how I go.
This is
all righty.
No, I never was to the point that I thought I'm not going to make it. You know what I mean? It wasn't that, but it was miserable. Shout out to Adam Boutwell.
Thanks, buddy.
Adam come in,
scratch that.
Adam come in with a sleeping bag that he had taken.
Yeah.
Now what's crazy in the mountains? It's just a week and a half later than when he was there, and it was drastically different.
It gets cold
that
fast.
night got in the 20s,
low 20s, and frost settled on you. But he brought that sleeping bag, and he was like, "It's waterproof." And I knew we was going to no tin it.
Yeah.
And just rough. We did have a rain fly in case it started pouring. We could get underneath that. But if it wasn't going to rain, we're just going to lay on the ground. I thought, well, this is a Gore-Tex sleeping bag.
Sure.
Yeah, it was waterproof, but I didn't need that. I needed warmth. Because I like the froze that night.
We did sleep close enough to the fire. The next morning when I put my sleeping bag up, it had a bunch of burn holes in it everywhere. So,
yeah, that happens. A lot of my stuff.
The sky started turning orange.
And you were already up. You're like,
I'm laying there wide awake, like, just come up, son. Just come up. I was just like begging the sun to come up.
Man.
I was like, remember, Lord, when you helped Joshua out with the stopping and the moving and the starting again of the sun?
Let's speed that thing up.
Yeah, let's bring this thing on.
Yeah.
And about time the sky starts turning orange, I hear Wes go, oh. He's like, that might have been the worst night. I cut him off, didn't I? I was like, I don't want to hear it. I said, I slept 20 minutes all night. Did we not have a stack of firewood built up?
Oh, man.
4.5, 5 foot deep. It was gone, wasn't it? I stayed up all night and burnt wood, tending, trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
So I will say this, though. So
you got to be prepared.
So there's something to think about, though. And we found this out last year unexpectedly. The first day or two, you can find elk close. Now, because we started at the opening day. They hadn't been called to yet or anything like that. Yeah. So we found elk. We were close enough to the road. We could hear the vehicles in the gravel on the road driving.
Yeah, the rocks popping.
And we were in elk right off the bat the first morning, real close.
And Laythan and I had pushed deep in, and we could not find elk.
So you surpassed them. So
we went on. We had 3 bulls that morning. One we got
who knows? You don't even know. You can't see.
It was real close to happening. But and then the second day, we got into elk fair close. Close enough that if we were at camp and it wasn't windy, because we had a lot of wind, we would have heard those bugles from where we were sleeping in the tent. Like it was fairly close. But now each day, it got where they were getting further.
It does seem by the end of the week they're
getting educated.
Like
they're getting deeper in
because you got a lot of people that are going to hunt close to the road.
Yeah. And after the first week, then you got muzzleloaders that move in.
Yeah.
After week 1.
Yeah.
So then so if we were there any longer than
the first
7 days,
Saturday, it starts.
Well, you will. You'll have to contend with them.
Oh yeah. But, I mean, if you stay into that, what we did is when all that heat came on, these guys had already left, and we didn't realize we had it kind of to ourselves. The bow thing. There's a few guys, not too much.
Yeah.
And good guys. They were just regular guys from town, and it was great. And we thought, well, this is not that bad. We're going to stay, another 5-6 days, whatever. Well, the day before muzzleloader, it was a little bit overwhelming what happened.
The gates opened up.
I mean, there was just a lot of people and so many horse camps, guys going in on horses they're going in 10 miles. Well, that's our 10-mile mark that we want to get to. They're there already and then spreading out. And so we thought, maybe we'll just go. Like at that point, we'd been 8 days,
something like that.
Well, plus we got there early, a couple days early.
Yeah.
So we're kind of mentally wore out and physically beat to death. And so we decided to go. And I knew I probably was unlikely that I could come back just with my schedule. There wasn't really that very last hunt. We called in a giant bull with a bull probably like that one with him.
Wow.
And they were 39 yards and we just not in the clear yet. Another couple steps, and then the cow elk started moving. They chased her, and they were gone. It was gone. It was over. But we were back several miles. We were in those swamps, just off from where you had killed that one. And what I found with the whole thing is there was nowhere we couldn't hunt out of where we camped. Like we walked back to where you killed your bull, across all those burns and back in there. Yes, it's a long way, but we did it right out of the camp and walked back there.
Sure.
So you don't have to necessarily pack all that way in. What it means is you can get yourself far enough in where you better have things with you if you have to spend the night.
Sure.
Yeah.
If the weather turns.
I mean, what it allowed us to do though that morning was we were up with them.
Yes. Well, they were moving.
Yeah. Within what? Well, they didn't really talk at daylight. Here's what we didn't know. We were in them. Yeah. But they were kind of hush-hush after daylight.
Well, we ended up bumping one, but he didn't realize what we were. The wind was right. He just saw movement, and we bumped him. He jumped out there and just kind of meandered along. But it was enough that he wasn't going to respond to calls.
So how do you obviously call, right?
Yeah.
But then so as you're moving, do you just take periods where you'll stop and you'll listen? Because these are large animals. I'm sure they're quiet.
I think there's different thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So a lot of,
we talked to some guys down at the restaurant after we killed this bull.
Yeah.
And they were like, they were not hunting nothing like us. They were out of staters too.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, how'd you guys,
we called, I think 3 times today.
I was like,
you guys
3 times
all the time.
I go 100 yards and call and walk 100 yards and call.
Yeah.
And walk 100 yards and call.
If you listen to them a while, they make a lot of noise.
And it's a strange thing. It's like nothing all day, nothing. And 10 o'clock, bang.
Yep.
I killed my bull after 1. We killed his bull a little after 10.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you think there's a period of time in the morning where they're moving? And
I think it just totally depends.
Yeah.
They're a lot like turkeys in the fact that sometimes turkeys will blow the woods apart right at daylight, and sometimes they won't start gobbling till 10.
And you'll get a little bit of rain or something, and it'll
everything
shut them
changes.
up.
Yeah.
And the individual too. Like some of those bulls, it's the only animal on the mountain making any noise, but he's making noise. So you make ground on him, and I think it's got a lot to do with
the day I killed my bull. We didn't leave camp till like 8:39. Remember, that's the night the tents about flipped over in the wind.
Boy.
Like there were several times I woke up and my feet were like 3 foot off the ground. Air had got underneath the tent and was picking the
This
tent
is no
up.
joke.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some big wind.
And I was like,
60 and 70 miles.
I was like, you all right, Wes? Yeah. we're
I'm holding on.
Yeah, we're trying to sleep through that. And all I could think was like, man, if one of these trees falls.
Oh, that's right. That's what I kept thinking. Because you could hear them smacking into each other in the wind.
That's why they're all laying all over the ground.
Yeah, because they do fall. They do fall. You see trees laying everywhere. So it blew like even after daylight, but it was letting off all the time. Yes. And like at 8:30.
Shut off. Huh?
Yeah, shut off. So we all took off.
Well, we heard a bugle from the campfire.
From the camp.
Down over the hill.
Yeah. From the camp. And I never got that bull to talk because I went kind of in his direction.
Yeah.
But I walked 100 yards and called until noon. Nothing. And walked right into a bull. And when I walked into a bull, I had gotten a little bit weary and well-doing. I'd walked 100 yards call. I mean, I say 100 yards, give or take. You know what I mean? And this time I was like, I'd crossed this real pretty creek and I got me a drink and I videoed it because it's so beautiful. I was like, and I crossed it and I went up to the top it was a pretty good climb. I got to the top. I was almost called and I was like, I walked another 150. So I'd probably walk 400 yards and didn't call. Bang, jumped a bull, walked right into a bull and a good bull. And he got up and took off. And I was like, doggone it, I got lazy, and I didn't call. Now, would he have answered? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Because those bulls that he was talking about that we bumped, that meandered off, there was a big bull and a smaller bull. I was calling at 60, 70 to 100 yards, and they let us just walk right to them. They never answered. So you just got to, you got to contend with that. It's going to happen. But that bull, I jumped that bull. Of course, I'm thinking, shouldn't have done that. I got lazy. So I walked up there and seen his bed, and I could smell him, and they smell good, man.
Yeah.
They smell good. And don't they smell good?
They do.
They smell good.
So they got a sweet. Are they sweet like
They're
a
like
doe?
they're
like a doe? You know, like a doe?
No, it's
White-tailed
nothing
deer.
like deer. They
It
smell
smells like a cow.
They smell
but
like
a good cow.
They smell like clean.
Sweet cow.
They smell like clean cows.
So
they smell like
stink.
when you're at the fairground.
They stink.
Doug has a different opinion.
Yeah, they stink, but they're what we are after. So it's awesome when you
No,
smell.
I think it smells
It's
good.
a sweet
Yeah.
stink.
Like
Is that
I
what
can
you're saying?
smell it on my hands for days after we butchered them. I was like,
You can.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
rubbing
I
that
jumped
in your
that
hair.
bull, walked into that bull,
Yeah.
walked up there and smelled his bed, laid in his bed, but wallered in it like a dog. I did lay down
I can
next to
see
it.
that. I can see
I did
that.
lay down next to it, and I thought, well, it's noonish.
Yeah.
I've jumped that bull. I'm going to sit down here. I'm going to eat some trail mix or
The
whatever.
bed was warm, right?
Yeah, the bed was already warm.
Right.
As I'm going to eat something.
Bonus.
I was eating something. So we're talking within 15, 20 minutes of jumping that bull. It's noon o'clock. I'm eating something. Just started a game of solitaire on my phone. I thought, I'm going to kill an hour right here.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Refocus.
I've walked into an area where if that bull's bedded here, within
Somewhere else.
200 or 300, 400 yards, I was thinking there's probably other bulls bedded.
And
I
he
checked the
went
wind.
down.
This is if you're going elk hunting,
yeah.
check the wind,
All
check
the
it again.
time.
Walk across the creek, check it again.
Yeah.
Go up the side of the hill, check it, because it's not like here.
The
It goes
swirls
every
don't.
different direction all the time.
You'll walk into a spot where there's shade and it's doing different
Yeah.
than 10
Drop.
foot where
Yeah.
the sun
And then
is
you
out.
walk around a roll, the front of a face, through
Just
a saddle.
The way
it's
the
doing something
thermals.
else. So I sat down, start that game of solitary, and a bull. I didn't even light him up. He bugles up behind me way high on up. I was like, all right. Pushed end on the solitary game, got up and headed for him, got above him, and called him in and killed him.
That's awesome.
Killed him at 120. But as I was doing that, I know 3 bulls fired up. And I work all the way to my bull, get him shot. I'm sitting on a log after I'd shot him and done a few little hyper interviews there that I did.
Those are good.
And he had run off, and I heard him go down pretty sure. And I'm sitting there, and one of those bulls got so close to me, I could not see him. He was bugling.
Yeah.
And I didn't answer him. And I was like, I wanted to see what he was. I thought, don't answer him. Just let him come through here. If I see him, I see him. He was so close at one point, I could see the brush down there and the timber moving that he was going through, but I could not pick out him.
That's rough.
So let's
and
do this.
he finally hushed up. But what I'm saying is all those bulls fired up in the middle of the day.
Right.
Let's play that video for them so they can see what your hunt was like. And I'm going to go refresh my coffee and we'll start again.
All right. How's that going? Are we going to be able to see it?
Possibly. I'd say so. Here we go.
All right. They'll still be able to hear us, right?
There it is.
All right.
Called the big bull, good bull, out into the burn.
Don't be afraid of those
He
burns.
went below me, too far to shoot. I didn't know what to do. I've been bugling at him the whole time, and I switched it and cow called.
This is me, dirty and stinking.
Guaranteed.
Intense focus.
Dark timber. Wind's coming up at
Oh,
me.
it's pretty out there.
And I can smell them.
Myself.
They have bugled. There's 2 bulls. I haven't seen the other one, but one's a good bull.
Just looking at them trees behind you, all them pine trees. Man, I'm so proud.
I feel like we're at a golf match.
It's kind of like that. The stakes are a lot higher.
I think this is where the bull's like 15 yards from me.
I believe so. You pan up here in just a sec when you draw your bow, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But you had the camera mounted on your bow, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is where the bull's like 15 yards from. I believe so. You pan up here in just a sec when you draw your bow, I guess, right? But you had the camera mounted on your bow, right?
Oh, so you're facing one right now.
That's him looking for me.
He's about to find you.
Got him. That's awesome. Any hunter knows what's going on there.
It's embarrassing.
Oh, it's incredible. It's awesome, man.
It's awesome.
Okay, calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
That's awesome.
Did he go down?
Man, I get it.
Where's the pinnacle? The pinnacle of my bow hunting so far. Oh. About hyperventilating. I just killed. I don't know what he is. A huge bull. A huge bull, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I hit him solid as a frontal shot, but I have practice. I have put in my memory what I have to do full frontal. I went up in arrow weight this year. Several grains, not a gob, but several. I put a 150 grain fixed blade head on to get some forward of center. I just well, one of my dreams as a bow hunter has come to fruition. Let's walk up. I cannot believe they're so much bigger than what I thought. And I'm telling you, people, I killed a big bull for my first bull. He's a big bull.
Oh, wow.
Oh my word, he's a big bull. He's a big bull. He's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or you got to do it this way. 6 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically on that. You'd almost call him a big 5x6. Oh my gosh. What am I gonna do now? I've been on the radio trying to get a hold of Wes. I haven't been able to get him. This is amazing. I can't. Let me switch here. Here we go.
Yeah.
Now,
That gives you a lot better look at him.
On the screen. Look at this bull. Look.
They're massive.
I'm so used to.
You had really done a number on that animal. You could tell that heart shot.
Whitetails where we jump on them and pick their
It
head
was
up.
serious.
Yeah. You don't just pick their head up. Okay, hold on.
Look at that. That's huge.
Yeah, this is the best angle, I feel like, because you can truly get a,
Good perspective. Yeah.
Is that a kilt you're wearing?
Scottish.
That's my elk hunting kilt.
Oh.
That's the Sitka Scottish line right there.
I like it.
It's the European line.
And this is the Ultra Bull.
So that's what you named him, the Ultra Bull.
Yeah, I just did on the fly there.
Oh, UB. Oh, this is cool. Handlebars.
I just can't fathom.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
What I did here. Everybody at home, I have killed a big bull. This is my first bull. This is my 4th or 5th time here. My 3rd or 4th time, I can't even remember now. Doing it on my own.
And this is a giant bull. They're much bigger.
That's a lot of bull.
It is a lot of bull. It's a good looking bull.
Man, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That puts coal in the furnace right there.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah, that fires me up.
It's pretty awesome, man.
That adrenaline rush. You're like, this just happened. It's so, it's surreal.
Did you have time to edit yours?
Did not.
You should have done yours. It's got better footage on it.
It does, but we'll talk about it some other time.
Probably one of the pinnacles up until this point of my bow hunting.
You're going to go there and call for me, so.
I'm going to go and call a bunch of bull.
One after the other.
Look at that big fork dip there. Big bull. I don't know what to say. I am excited. That's the first.
That's a cool shot because you realize I'm 6 foot, a little over. I'm standing up, and he's laying down.
Yeah.
And his points are at your eyes.
Yeah, my eyes, yeah.
Yeah, that's no doubt a big animal.
Yeah.
How much do they weigh on the hoof?
A lot, Josh.
More than you can carry.
I think a great big bull is probably over 700 pounds, ain't they?
That one looks like it.
I think they get up as high as 950, something like that.
That's massive.
But that's a giant.
Yeah,
The body on that one was a lot bigger than the one Wes killed, correct? That looked like
it was. He was fatter. Wes is in just a week and a half or two had leaned out
from running.
chasing, One thing I remember on Wes which is the bull that's behind us here.
Very cool.
One of the things on his bull was I remember when we were butchering him, he was way more sticky on his mane and head, and his rack's a little darker.
It is.
I don't know if that's the characteristics of the bull. Now I know the like his forehead and his mane just sticky, and what it was is spruce.
Yeah,
rubbing on
sap, sap all over him. Where he'd been rubbing.
There's rubs everywhere out there.
I mean.
And when you see a rub that you can't touch the top,
it's not a whitetail. Yeah, it's not a 3 foot off the ground.
No. It does something to your heart.
Those wallows are awesome too. When you walk up on a wallow and realize how big of a spot that really is, like it can be near the size of this room, just tore to pieces.
Yeah, just wallowed.
Yeah,
I saw where we've got a question. Do you want to answer that, Laythan? It pertains to movement and it pertains to how talkative they are. Do they tend to be more talkative when in the morning, or do you find that they're more talkative in the evening?
It just on our experience, I would say probably more talkative of an evening.
Yeah, and I don't.
That doesn't mean I haven't had them bugle. We've had them bugle first live.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say that don't let the middle of the day. I mean, when you're whitetail hunting, so many guys think morning, evening, that's it.
Right.
And the middle of the day is still can be very
really
productive.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
for elk especially.
My bull fired off in the middle of the day. He just that's when I shot him 120ish. So,
I mean, they're rutting, right? I mean, so they're actively
pursuing.
And
if we're going to be there the first week, you're looking at bulls that we would compare it to the last week of October.
That's just what I would say. Yep.
You've got bulls that
they're anxious, but
they're not necessarily all cowed up,
feeling each other out, establishing some
and they're not going to lock down like a whitetail with one doe.
No.
They're going to they want a harem of cows. They want, from what I've seen, they're looking to gather up and hang out with a group of cows and watch over and tend those cows. So I think the first week's great for us.
Yeah.
Just on the basis of you've got, not that they couldn't have cows, but you've got bulls. All I did with that bull was bugle. There was no cow calling involved. And they're still the pecking order, I guess, is still taking place. We virtually didn't cow
call at all that first week. Yeah.
One bull I cow called to turned and left.
Right.
So
we didn't do
I was
much
like,
of it.
well, I'm not going to do that again, and I just stuck with bugles. That doesn't mean the next morning,
right?
Cow calls might have been what was hot, but
now here's another thing though. I've got a good buddy that all he does is pretty much cow call.
Yeah,
and the reason why is his argument is most guys don't cow call.
Right. Everybody's bugling.
So it sets you apart as different than everybody else.
And that's what's probably some of the more bigger, mature elk are.
And he's killed some really big ones.
But the bull that we almost killed, that I said I had on the over-the-counter zone that I had at 12 yards, I was bugling and cow calling.
Yeah. So you were making some noise.
I was doing both. I was like, I would bugle this direction and turn and cow call that direction, making it sound like 2 or 3.
Multiple animals
up
there.
Yeah. Even switching calls, trying to get a higher pitch cow and a lower pitch cow, like there was a bull coming up the mountain with 2 cows or something to that nature.
So I want to turn around real quick and grab this bag just so we can talk about some of the stuff that we throw in our bags.
Sure.
And I'd also like you to talk about calls. And so go ahead and tell us what you've got. A lot of people don't even recognize or realize that you do need a bugle tube
right. So this tube is just what it is. It looks like a small Fisher Price wiffle ball bat, and there's a good chance
work like one.
That's a good chance. There's a good chance that's all you would need. This one's actually a bugle tube. There's all different ones of them, but all it does is just like a big megahorn, amplifies it. When you hear those bulls bugle up there, it's an amazing sound that comes out of them. It's so, at times, like your bull was way throatier, I think, than mine. And even roared or growled on the backside and started chuckling. And he just had that when he'd let off of his, it don't sound like that, but it's like you take that sound and mix it in with the bugle.
Yes.
Kind of like a lip ball is what they would call it calling. But all I use basically is mouth calls. Now there are handheld.
And you found that you really like those born and raised calls, correct?
I do. I've blown a bunch of them. I don't know the born and raised guys. I think they're cool. I like how they hunt. I watch their videos. If I could mimic my little bit, they're what I would call professional elk hunters. That's like their thing. They grew up out west. That's what they do. They chase the elk season from the Pacific Northwest all the way to New Mexico until it's over. If you watch them, and that's their calls, and they've got a bunch of them. But I feel like for me, and everybody's mouth is shaped different, the born and raised guys call works the best in my mouth.
Yeah. All right.
But so bugle tube mouth calls, it's good. I do generally pack a hand call for cow calling too.
You better have your rangefinder and a good set of binoculars.
Absolutely essential.
Make sure, like this is what I wear on my chest. My binos are right there. My rangefinder's right there. My puffer is right here. You can check the wind. And then chapstick.
He sure is.
Do not. I think I've got it here. Yeah, don't go to the mountains without chapstick.
That is 100%.
Or you'll be rubbing something.
Like you have got. You got about 10 hours, and your lips are leather,
starting to split.
Because you have to call it an arid, dry, like mountain.
Can you destroy that, please?
I'm trying. I've got a lot going on right now.
You do. You really do.
But you would call it like desert climate up there.
Yeah, it really
Even though it rains, and then 20 minutes later it's dry.
What we found was every time we stopped, take a drink of water and use the chapstick.
Yeah.
And if you stay ahead of it, not too bad.
You're good.
But I mean, even if you don't think I don't really need a drink, take a drink of water. Like if you cross a water source, fill up that water bottle. Like,
do you use the bladders at all? Because some of these packs will have some bladders. What's your
only if they're filtered?
Yeah.
Like you got to be careful.
Because they can get nasty.
Yeah, your water is important to make sure that it's
clean.
It's clean.
Yeah.
So this is what Laythan uses.
I run just that bottle with a filter in it.
And it's got a filter.
Let me see that right there. The old Life Straw.
It's got some miles on it.
Yeah. It's been to several seasons.
I spent the coin this year and got me a Grail bottle, and I've liked it.
What is it now?
It's a Grail.
Grail?
Yeah.
The Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Maybe. It can't save your life.
The only thing about yours is that I'd get tired of pressing that thing.
It's pretty tough.
Mine.
But when you press it,
I can drink without any kind of suction.
Yeah.
Like that's where a lot of these he has to suck on this bottle to pull it up.
It sucks.
And
it takes some pulling, but I don't. It don't.
So yours is just you can just tip it up.
Yeah.
You just suck on it.
What's
trying
that
to
again?
figure out what was going on.
Yeah, what is that?
That's what it sounds like.
So that Grail bottle, you push on it, and it does all the filtering in the push.
Yeah, you push.
So
it through the
then there's a reservoir of water that you can drink
clean.
just like it out of a cup.
I see.
And because of that, you can also put mixes in with it and stuff like that.
Right, like I can't put
what is this, a quart? Or
I'm not sure on that.
it's a liter, isn't it?
a liter.
I think it's 1 liter.
Okay.
And you don't want to pack much more than a liter.
No.
You really don't.
Maybe a liter.
So
maybe
how much
2.
capacity does that Grail?
Not that much.
No, mine's. I think
or
mine's
something.
20 ounces or something.
Okay.
It's
So.
far less as good as that.
Yeah.
It's very nice. It's titanium, isn't it?
It is
It's
titanium.
nice. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Makes a guy feel good to be carrying around titanium.
So, and then also in this bag,
Oh yeah,
we've got
sustenance.
this was one of Lathan's favorites on the trip.
Oh,
So we got a little pasta primavera.
Like I would take that home and
there
eat
you
it
go.
Those
now.
are pretty good.
It's
Yeah.
delicious. Another
Several
one
of
that
those were good.
And you
Good.
can purchase that here.
I
at
only
Ultra
picked
Products.
the one. That's right.
You can.
I only picked some of the best. There's a
Ooh.
venison
Venison
country
was good.
casserole.
It was really good.
That does
Yeah.
look good.
It was
I'm
delicious.
a carrot guy,
So make sure you stop in here and get these if you need them. Chicken Alfredo.
That one's good.
Yes,
that was
it
one
was.
that we really
Who
enjoyed.
doesn't like that?
And in the mornings for breakfast, a lot of times we would do the biscuits and gravy.
I wasn't
and-
thrilled with that.
Nothing
See,
like
I did.
powdered
I
biscuits
thought
and
they
gravy.
were knock it out of the park.
Me
good.
too,
Now
man.
you break the biscuits up.
Yes.
That was the
and
only
it-
flaw to
And
it.
if you
Yeah.
go too soon,
Yes, they're hard as a brick.
the biscuits hadn't broke or gotten soft.
I-
But
I
if you
guess
wait right,
Yeah, I guess it's unfair because I don't eat biscuits and gravy anyway. So, like, I guess maybe
well,
I
then
just
why are
don't
you
like
even
them.
speaking about
Yeah,
it?
So do
I
you
know,
guys all
yeah.
have like your own,
Good point.
like your own stove, like these little jet burners?
Yes.
that
You
they-
have to have a jet boil, or
There's a couple
we
of-
use a fire maple.
Yeah, fire maple.
Fire maple's
Pretty much
really
the same
good.
principle.
And they
Gotta
have,
have it.
they have. I've been looking at those. They have a lot of. They have a really nice coffee press.
They do.
I've seen that. I'm not a coffee guy, but I know you guys are.
We are,
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
can drink instant.
and we do a lot.
On that trip, you
I
kind of
figured you did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
hate
just
to
thought a
say
good
it, I
gesture
kinda
as a
like
friend would be
instant
like,
coffee.
here's a
now
warm
at
cup
the
of
end of the
coffee.
week, I'm ready for regular coffee.
A real coffee. Yeah.
but I can get up and
You
just
could just stir it up, chew it up, swallow it.
I just, about 2 days
I like
into
it
this
thick and
past trip,
chunky.
What's that? What's
I
that? The real the old the old decaffeinated crystals. What's that meme? Chris Cole. With the
don't
Chris
know.
Farley.
oh my goodness, he freaked out and beat everybody over the head. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
Anyway,
So I
We
don't know if
switched
there's
it with
anything else in
Folgers
this bag.
crystals.
I don't
Uh,
think there is.
I
right at
will
the
say
moment.
this. It is important to have a good quality bag,
Yo,
and it's important to have one that has structure. Like
Yeah.
if you kill something,
You
me
gotta
and
get it
Laythan
out.
experienced this. If you kill something and you've got to haul that thing out, it is like hauling Jello.
So, like, what kind would you suggest?
This here is a horn hunter bag, and
is that
and
more?
that's just more of a day pack.
this is a day pack bag.
That's not a meat quarter packing bag.
It sets across the low of your back. It gives you
it will be on the low of my back this year.
Will it? now?
Oh, I like it a lot.
it gives you everything that you need for hiking and for
A day or two.
yeah.
I could get 2 days out of that.
Yeah.
You can
for
pack
sure.
enough in there.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
gives you plenty of space to put several meals in, to give your water bottle. I think you could get your roll on top, and
Sure.
I think you could get your sleeping bag
on
underneath.
bottom.
You could get some molly straps, and there's a lot you could.
Well,
do.
it's got it
Even the
on it.
straps that are
Yeah.
there will do.
Yeah, it's got let out straps for like a bed pack and stuff like that to hook
Yeah.
onto it.
So
it's light, but it's not going to pack your meat out for you.
It is not going to do that. In order to do that, you got to have something with structure.
A drone.
On the back side of this door, I've got something with structure. Josh, would you care to grab
A
it?
frame pack.
Yeah.
And there is one, an external frame hanging back there, and you're talking about the
Yeah.
Mystery Ranch one that you just got.
No, I'm
No.
not talking about that.
No, a little different.
So this pack is a horn hunter pack.
Well, where'd that come from?
Huh.
Well, I didn't show that to you yet.
No kidding.
Boy, it's
Yeah.
weird.
Set this up here.
So,
Set this up here and get it good.
Dude, that's awesome right there.
Yeah, do you like it?
I do like that.
Awesome. I think that is.
so that right there is a Horn Hunter full curl, and
Full
that right
curl.
Yes.
Curl.
And it will basically, it's basically 3 bags built into one.
It's pretty awesome. That thing pictures one.
All across the front. You can open it up.
I think it's awesome, but I feel like no one can see me, and I'm more awesome. So I'm back here.
not so certain.
I'm just teasing.
I'm
You
not
don't have
so
to show me.
No, you can lay it down.
That
way.
is a good bag. I was highly interested in this bag, so we haven't ran this bag yet.
We have not. Josh, do you want to tell him about this bag?
Yeah. This bag is your bag.
No,
Happy birthday.
This is
guys.
Laythan's bag. So,
Hope you
well,
like
what about
it.
the hip bag?
well, sorry, Jack.
You don't have to be. You don't have to be hip all the time.
Beggars can't be choosers.
This is a nice bag.
That is a nice.
That's
bag.
why. Yeah. And
This
is.
expands way out. I was
It does.
fooling with it before, and it's like you
why-
can put a lot of stuff in
That's
there.
why it's yours.
How many
'Cause
cubic
it's
inches
nice.
is this bag? Do you know?
It's a bunch.
Like 5,000.
It has an
I
internal
think
frame.
it is.
Yeah, it has an
So
internal.
it's an
frame.
internal
yeah,
frame.
Yeah.
This thing is good to what? I mean, it's rated for.
I mean, this is going to do everything that you need to do.
And you
So
can
it
put a
has
hindquarter in
it
that
has
bag,
like
right?
what I call like a meat shelf in it.
It does.
Right
You know,
Like
here.
right here is your
Yeah.
shelf that you can flap that down. It has a full bag on the inside that you can take out.
And we can get these for people.
We can. So,
It's been done.
Yeah, buku storage.
so
Buku
this
storage.
bag comes
Yeah.
out here. So
You
Oh,
can
wow.
wear that one as a day pack.
Yeah, this is
right?
a
I'll
day
probably
pack.
sleep with it tonight on my back.
That's
So go-
reasonable.
I somehow believe that.
Yeah.
You'll definitely be walking
So
around.
this
with
bag here,
I'll be
if
walking
you
around
want,
with it as soon
you
as we
can
push stop on this.
you can just use this bag.
Is it got
Like,
shoulder?
I think you can turn those into shoulder straps the way it's
yeah.
built.
Maybe so.
So
It's awesome. It's
it
really
also
awesome.
has
Look
this
at this.
bag on it.
which
like-
comes off.
Yep, it does. I mean, it basically is a fully customizable bag.
Yeah.
So a bag like this is going to run you somewhere in the 450 to 470 range, depending on certain aspects
Looks
of
really
it.
tough.
It does.
It
look
is.
really tough.
So-
I lean towards Horn Hunter bags because I've got one that me and Wes have run forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for filming, we carried camera gear in it. We put stuff in it that should not been in it. I ginseng hunted with it and when I say that, like the base of a camera arm,
Yeah.
which has got sharp
Jagged
jagged
pieces,
all
yeah.
over it. If
Yeah.
they were going to come through it, they should have came through it.
Yeah.
They have some kind of crazy fabric. I guess that's what you're
Man,
calling
this thing has got zippers.
I
It
know.
does.
Everywhere. As
There
you're
are
as you're
pockets.
messing with
See
it,
that
it's got
pattern?
stuff everywhere.
When that gets poked, it's like it's a special knit they use
Yeah.
that it will not keep ripping.
Yeah. Rip
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah,
is that
rip
what they call
stop.
it?
This thing has pockets, and then inside are other pockets.
Well, even on these outside flaps.
Yeah, there's all kinds
there are
of
pockets within pockets. There is.
I'll wear it in the shower tonight, probably.
With your new shoes, you're ready to go, man.
Dude, I even got my elk shoes on.
Let's
That's
see
another thing we need to. That's another thing we'll have
Nice.
to talk about here.
Yeah.
Is definitely some footwear.
Oh, a good pair of boots is important.
Oh, like
So
make or break
let's circle back. If someone's going to pack meat, make sure you got a frame.
Yeah.
Got to have a
to
frame.
distribute this weight.
And then I'd say you need to wrap up. I don't know if you want to wrap up, but you need to wrap up with this. If you're going to the mountains, maybe the most important thing is what wraps around your foot.
Yeah.
Wes can attest to.
Well, you also got to have
our
something that
good
wraps
friend-
around your meat. You got to have game bags. So,
yeah, you gotta have,
Yeah.
yes, and that's another like what kind of game bags you
Game
guys
bags.
use?
so Black Ovis has a really good game bag
Yeah,
set.
the born and raised guys.
Born and Raised has good
Yeah.
game bags.
yeah,
And it's made out of like,
It looks
it's
like-
almost like parachute material.
Yeah.
okay.
Like, it's
keeps
like the
the flies
stuff
off.
that,
Lets it breathe,
Uh,
but yet still.
well, in the 80s, they made jackets that I'm sure Doug wore, and they were very thin like that. And they make bags out of those now.
Yeah,
And in the 90s, they made parachute pants
Pants.
that
They
I
did.
would love to see Doug wear.
Can't test this.
It's hammer time.
No, it is like a thin, like a windbreaker material.
It is.
Yeah,
Real stout. I mean, you can put a 90-pound hind quarter off an elk and hang it.
Oh, is it like when you buy like one of those folding chairs, like the bags that comes in, like a
Kinda
similar.
type of material?
maybe tougher, but
I'm sure tougher.
It's a little bit more stretchy. I feel like.
So it has some give, so it'll conform to the meat.
But
looks like an overgrown bandage material. That's like it stretches, but
no,
it doesn't
you're
tear
thinking of a different type.
you're thinking of like the cheesecloth type.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do have
No,
those.
these are they're parachute material.
They are.
Is what they are. Is what they remind you
Do
of.
they have that
Remember in PE
antimicrobial?
when you played with a parachute?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That material.
It's
Oh,
like
they didn't do that back then, did they? When we were in PE,
No, that's where
as
it
a kid,
originated.
they had we played. It was parachute material,
Yeah.
but they fashioned it up where it's got draw cords or zippers and stuff on it.
They work awesome. But
Macho
so that would be one of the things that if you're writing down things that you would want to take, you want to have a good water bottle, you want to have a good bag, you've got to have good boots, you've got to have some sort of meat bags, because I mean, within minutes of you shooting that thing, the flies start showing up.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So you've got to have those things. You've got to have some good pre-made meals that you can take into the mountain for hiking. You've got to have a filter water bottle to make sure that you're taken care of, not dehydrated. Got to have some chapstick. What else? Puffers. And some good calls.
And going back to the boots, do not just go buy boots and wait till you go in the mountains to put them on your feet. Wear them for weeks ahead of time.
Wear them.
Break them in.
And be willing to say, I put these boots on, and I bought these to go elk hunting, and they are mountain boots. They were made for the mountains. But I still have the frame of mind is like, I'm going to wear them and do their things. And I'm like, if I think they got hot spots in them, because once you lose your feet, it's tough.
That's a make or break proposition.
I mean, our good friend Craig Clark, you told the story of his heels. And when he was here on the podcast a while back, we just made a joke about it. He said, I can still see
scars on his
heels from the blisters.
It was the deepest blisters that I've ever seen. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Anyway.
And it shut him down.
I'm sure.
He was at the point where he's like, I can't go anymore.
Yeah.
So.
And then I would say we get yourself in the best shape you can get yourself.
Absolutely.
In. Some people are probably limited, but if you think you're going to crawl off the couch and go out there, you're going to hunt maybe 2 days.
And you're done, huh? You'll run out of gas.
I know several people that came back and they was like 2 days in, I was toast and I couldn't go no more.
Whatever you can do down here, you can't do up there.
Right.
It's a fraction of what you think you can do.
If you ask me, what should I do? You can measure that a bunch of different ways, but it boils down to this: cardio and leg strength. Because every step is uphill.
Well, your heart's laboring, lack of oxygen already.
Yeah. So you're talking, get your cardio up, whatever you got to do to get that heart rate up and keep it up. I'm swinging an axe right now. Gets my heart rate up, keeps it up. I can do that for an hour and enjoy it. But I will, in the next several weeks, I'll start picking up some form of leg strength.
That stair stepper that we did,
the ball.
That year was awesome.
I think we stayed on that stair stepper a bunch. I would almost go get a membership just for that.
Yeah.
We stayed on that thing. I got to where I could do like 12 to 1,500 steps on a pretty good pace without stopping before my legs felt like they were going to burn off.
When you start out, 200 feels like
when I got on there and I put it on just a medium pace and I was at like 180, I was like,
is it like I've seen some of these. Is it like the escalator kind that moves itself?
Yeah, it's just like stairs that are on a treadmill coming around the horn, and you just got to keep stepping.
Stay with it, huh?
And it's one of the best for your mountain legs.
Yeah.
And your butt will look awesome.
It really will.
He must work out.
I know all about that. I wear cowboy boots.
Oh man,
Why does
Josh wear
that
cowboy
one right
boots?
there?
Why does Josh wear boots?
I feel like we've covered a lot of good stuff. Oh man,
They don't hurt.
Wes, you're going to have to shut this down. It's going to get ugly fast.
Yeah.
All right. We appreciate everybody watching this evening. If you guys get a chance, like, share, comment. We appreciate it. The numbers have been going up. We've been noticing that every week we're having somewhere around 2,500 to 2,700 people view the podcast. So make sure that you guys help us out. Do that. We appreciate it.
Share it.
Yeah.
Subscribe to it.
Tell your
friends on
friend.
YouTube.
Tell your friends.
If you like us, like it.
Yeah. Like it.
And if you don't like us, like it.
Like it anyway.
Like it a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, learn
and
to
I
love it.
want to end with this. If you are a bow hunter out there from around here, the Midwest, anywhere in the world, really, you love bow hunting, do not wait.
Yeah.
Go elk hunting. If you're not going to make it this year, write it on the calendar. Anybody can save up. It's not that bad. You know, I'm going to say you can go under 2 easy.
Yeah.
Because we go for 12 to 14.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Yeah. Don't wait till you're 60. You know how many 60-year-old bow hunters I've talked to? They could still go, but now their mind is defeating them.
Right.
Do it. Just put it on the calendar. Get out there and go. It's good for you, and it's awesome.
And I will add this. Me and Laythan are willing to help you in any way that we can.
Sure.
And that's regardless of what hunt you're wanting to go on. If you're wanting to go to Africa, hit us up. We'll figure out a way to get you in contact with the people to go there.
The right people. Right.
So, and in any aspect that we can help you, we want to help you.
That's awesome.
So, all right.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching this evening. This has been up for discussion. We appreciate Ultra Products and Icon Foam and Gutter for sponsoring this episode. And we'll see you next week when we take a look at the Dark Continent again. We've got Matt Griswold coming back in, and he's going to tell us how his hunt went there in Africa.
Maybe he'll have pictures, surely.
Pictures, video. It'll be good.
All right.
So stay tuned for next week. This has been up for discussion. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.